Hello! I want to give you some ideas to avoid the post-convention blues. Now, I know most of you are like, oh my gosh, I come back from convention and I'm super excited. Yes, you are, but then what happens? Life starts back up again, things get crazy, and pretty soon all those awesome ideas that you got at convention that you were super excited about start to fall down the priority list. And then you start to feel that angst of like, oh my gosh, I need to get this done. And you start to feel a little stress creep in. And so pretty soon all the endorphins and adrenaline you had at the convention start to get replaced by stress chemicals and anxiety and worry and guilt that you're not doing everything that you were so excited to do after learning them all and being inspired at the convention. So I want to give you some tips for those post-convention blues that can set in a week or 2 or 3 later. Now, when you think about the convention, you're super fired up, right? You're spending time with people. You're maybe on a little escape from the kids, having a little vacation at the same time, building your business, learning new business ideas. You've learned about the new product launches, all the cool new stuff that's coming. And so you are pumped. Like your body is so charged up and energized with endorphins and adrenaline and feel-good chemicals. And that feels good. Like human beings love pleasure. We love feeling good. And that's awesome. And so what you want to do is you want to harness that and keep that momentum going instead of letting that crash happen when the stress of regular life sets back in once you get back home. So here are 5 things that you can do to keep the convention rush going and avoid that post-convention blues. So the first one is to really keep your body fueled up with good food, lots of hydration, plenty of sleep, and exercise, because all of those things are going to keep you hydrated so that nutrition flows through you, but also so that energy flows through you and it keeps stress chemicals circulating out. Plus, when you exercise, that boosts endorphins regularly, which keeps the endorphin high that you had at the convention going with just those little boosts of exercise that are giving you the endorphin boost continuing after the convention. So that's the first one, is just to really stay fueled up. The next thing is reviewing your notes regularly. So whether you got a notebook while you were there, or you brought a new one, or you had one that you had all your notes in, go back in and review it regularly so that it doesn't end up like at the bottom of a pile of bills and stuff laying on your kitchen island. You want to be sure you're going back in there and you're looking at the things you learned, getting reminded of why you were there, what the things are that you want to try. And then also go back. Most companies I know are posting videos and live stream options where you can go and look at the sessions again, watch the sessions again, listen to podcast episodes from the speakers, from the presenters, things like that. So go back and remind yourself. And if there was a speaker that you loved, go follow them on social media. After every time I speak at a conference, especially big ones in direct sales, I will do a post-event challenge where I'll actually give you a daily reminder for a couple of weeks after the convention to keep you engaged, to keep you moving forward with the things that you learned from me. So go do that. Follow the speakers that you loved on social media. And then that will tie to the notes and the things that you wanted to do. Don't get overloaded. Number 3 is do one thing a day. One thing. Don't try to implement everything you learned all at once. You want to phase it out so that you don't get overloaded and overwhelmed, because when you do too much new stuff, even though it's exciting, it actually can crash and burn because it paralyzes your brain. Your brain can't strategically think about that many new things at once. So just do one thing a day. So that's number 3. The 4th thing is to set an intention. So this gets kind of into the spiritual side of it, but I want you to set an intention. I personally like to set intentions with crystals. This one is malachite. This one is good for totally owning success, for money, for communicating your value and who you stand for, what you want, what you need, and really just massive, massive success is what malachite is for. I like to set an intention with a crystal or a stone, but you can do it with anything. You can do it written down. You can just do it in your head. I personally just like to have something I hold and use that to hold the intention of what you want to accomplish most based on what you learned at convention. So let's say you know that you want to get better at your recruiting process based on something you learned in one of the sessions with a master recruiter, somebody who's amazing. You can use this and really infuse it, look at it and say, okay, I want to become a master recruiter like Jane is. And every time you look at this or hold this stone, keep it out where you can see it, keep it in your purse, keep it in your pocket. It's reminding you, okay, my number one goal is I want to get better at recruiting. I want to get better at recruiting. I want to get better at recruiting. And this intention stone will help you with that. So you can set any intentions that you want. You can set more than one, but find a way to make sure that you have that constant reminder of what is that one thing that you want to learn, because that'll keep driving you forward. And every time you see this, you'll actually get a little endorphin boost where you're like, oh, yes, I want to be a master recruiter. So try an intention stone or just a general intention to keep you moving forward. And the final thing that I want to suggest is that you create an action and accountability group, a little mastermind where you guys are helping hold each other accountable, coming up with action steps, checking in with each other. And it could be your team that you're already on, or maybe you met someone awesome at the convention that you want to stay connected to and you just clicked and you're like, hey, let's help each other with this. Or maybe there was a speaker or another person within your company who's above you that you want to use as inspiration and guidance, that you want to be a part of their group to help you move forward. So create an action and accountability mastermind to help you with all the things that you learned that you want to implement from convention specifically. And you can have a mastermind that's about other stuff too, but I love to have one that's just for everything that you learned at convention, and you're meeting periodically to say, okay, let's look at our notes. What are we going to do? Did we do this? Why didn't we do it? Did it work? How can we help each other make it work? So those are my 5 things for you: to stay fueled up, keep your endorphins going, to review your notes regularly to be sure that you're reminding yourself why you're excited, and following the speakers that you liked and things like that on social media, only doing one thing a day so you don't get overwhelmed, setting an intention so that every time you see whatever you set the intention with, you're like, yeah, I can do it, and it gives you an endorphin boost, and to create an action and an accountability mastermind. Those are my 5 tips for you to stay fired up after convention so that you don't have that post-convention slump in your energy, because it is that endorphin and adrenaline boost that is exciting while you're there, and when you get home, you're excited to implement it. But then as the stress of everyday life takes over again, things start to slide, and we don't want that. We don't want that slide to happen. We want to keep you fired up and engaged over time. So try those 5 tips. Let me know how they work for you. You can send me an email, Kristen@KristenBrownPresents.com. You can DM me or comment on any of my social media videos, and feel free to share this with your other direct sales peeps. I love you guys, and we will see you soon.